Hello dear students, welcome back to Baladri chemistry classes. Please like, subscribe my channel and click the bell icon for latest updates and share these videos with the JEE and NEET aspirants. These videos are very helpful for them. Now the today's concept is hydrogen bond. In chemical bonding, almost based on all the subchapters I made the videos, the last video is this hydrogen bond. Most of the students will have confusions about this hydrogen bond. Today we will get the clarity. If you ask anyone, sir, what is hydrogen bond? Most of the students will say that the bond present between hydrogen and hydrogen atom is hydrogen bond. If you say like this, they will believe. But the bond present between two hydrogen atoms is not hydrogen bond. It is simple covalent bond formed by sharing of two electrons. And that bond is also called non-polar covalent bond. What is that bond called? Non-polar covalent bond. But this hydrogen bond is not a true bond. Whatever the hydrogen bond we are going to come across, this hydrogen bond is not a true bond. Not a true bond it is. It is just attractions. So where that attractions will develop, sir? What is hydrogen bond? If bond present between hydrogen and hydrogen is not a hydrogen bond, then what is hydrogen bond, sir? And you are saying it is not a true bond. But what is this, sir? Let me explain. I am giving the definition for hydrogen bond. Listen very carefully. The weak electrostatic forces, the weak electrostatic force of attractions, the weak electrostatic force of attractions, the weak electrostatic force of attractions present between partially positive charge hydrogen, partially positive charge hydrogen, partially positive charge hydrogen and highly electronegative element. The weak electrostatic force of attractions present between partially positive charge hydrogen and highly electronegative element. Highly electronegative element. So listen once again, what is hydrogen bond? The weak electrostatic force of attractions present between partially positive charge hydrogen and highly electronegative element is called hydrogen bond. Sir, here we need some clarity, sir. What is this partially positive charge hydrogen and what is this highly electronegative element, sir? Let me explain in detail. And you said it is not a true bond. Yes, hydrogen bond is a secondary force. Just the attractions present between the two neighboring molecules. That neighboring molecules are required. One should have a positively charged hydrogen. The other compound should have highly electronegative element. Between these two, attractions will develop. That attractions are called hydrogen bond. Clear to you? Yeah, let me explain in detail. Now come to the next slide. Let us take here. This is one of the molecule, that is HF. The bond present between hydrogen and fluorine is covalent bond it is. The bond present between one hydrogen atom and one fluorine is it is a normal covalent bond. It is formed by sharing of two electrons. So it is a true bond. Now you can take another HF molecule. Another HF molecules are there. These two molecules are neighbors to each other now. In between hydrogen and fluorine, fluorine is more electronegative. Previously we come across the bond present between hydrogen and hydrogen is a non-polar covalent bond, I said, because these two pair of electrons are exactly equal between these two hydrogens. So the pair of electrons are exactly between two hydrogen atoms. But in case of HF molecule, it is also covalent bond only. It is formed by sharing of electrons. But the pair of electrons are slightly migrated towards fluorine. So fluorine will get partial negative charge and this hydrogen will get partial positive charge. So that's what this type of bond is called polar covalent bond. Unequal sharing of electrons, we can say. The bond is called polar covalent bond and HF molecule is a polar molecule. Now you can say same story. This fluorine will have partial negative charge and hydrogen will have partial positive charge. Now when two HF molecules are neighbors to each other, between the fluorine of one molecule and hydrogen of another molecule, there will be developing certain attractions. This weak attraction developed is called hydrogen bond. Now this is called hydrogen bond. So it is a weak attraction. That's what I said. It is not a true bond. So the bond energy of this hydrogen bond is very less. It is 1 to 3 kilocalorie per mole. 1 to 3 kilocalorie per mole, or it is 4 to 13 kilojoules per mole. It is very, very less. That is kilojoules per mole. And between two molecules, okay, to form this hydrogen bond, the neighboring molecules distance must be, right, it should lie between 2.7 to 3.3 angstroms. So below 2.7 angstroms and above 3.3 angstroms, hydrogen bond formation does not possible. And the bond energy of hydrogen bond is very, very less. So it is a weak attractions developed between partially positive charge hydrogen and highly electronegative elements. Now you can ask the questions are, what are the highly electronegative elements which can form these hydrogen bonds? Are generally fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen. These elements only will form hydrogen bond. So our chlorine cannot form hydrogen bonds? Are no. Chlorine cannot form hydrogen bond because of its large size. There is a condition that the distance between the two molecules when they are forming hydrogen bond must be 2.7 to 3.3 angstrom. That condition also should satisfy. That's what hydrogen bond can be formed by the highly electronegative elements fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen. And now we can ask one question. Sir, here suppose one HF molecule is there, sir, and the other molecule is CH4. CH4 is methane. Suppose methane molecule is there, sir. Between this methane molecule and HF molecule, at here the fluorine of HF molecule and hydrogen of methane molecule can form hydrogen bonds, or you can ask. This bond is not at all called hydrogen bond. Why, sir, you can ask? Because carbon is not the highly electronegative element. So it cannot make that hydrogen is positive, partially positive. Whatever the hydrogen is there here, which is attached with carbon, it is not positive, partial positive charge will not be there here. That's what. So the bond present here is not hydrogen bond. Listen very carefully. The attractions developed between fluorine of HF molecule and hydrogen of methane is not at all hydrogen bond, because it is not partially positive charge hydrogen. So to form this hydrogen bond, that hydrogen molecule also, that hydrogen atom also should attach with another highly electronegative element. Let us take two water molecules are there here. When this hydrogen is attached with a highly electronegative element, oxygen is highly electronegative element, then it will have partial negative charge. This hydrogen will have now partial positive charge. Then between this oxygen and hydrogen, there is a formation of hydrogen bond. Now this bond is called hydrogen bond. Whatever the hydrogen atom is involving in hydrogen bond, again it should attach with a highly electronegative element. Then only it can form this hydrogen bond. You got my point? So the bond present between this HF and methane molecule here, this is not the hydrogen bond. What this hydrogen is again should attach with another highly electronegative element. Then only this bond can be termed as hydrogen bond. Is it clear to you? Right. Now come to the different examples. Between two water molecules also hydrogen bond formation takes place. This is very, very important example. Let me write here. In liquid state, when water is there in liquid state, let me write it clearly. In liquid state, between two water molecules, between two water molecules, four hydrogen bonds will exist. How many hydrogen bonds? 4 hydrogen bonds will exist. Listen very carefully. In liquid state, between two hydrogen molecules, there is 4 hydrogen bonds are existing. So these two hydrogen with this oxygen, these two hydrogen with this oxygen, total 4 bonds will form. But when you take ice, in ice, means it is solid state. Water in solid state is called ice. In ice, between two water molecules, here 3 hydrogen bonds will exist. How many hydrogen bonds will exist? 3 hydrogen bonds. So because of that hexagonal structure of ice, 3 hydrogen bonds will exist. That's what ice occupies more volume than liquid water. In liquid water, more number of hydrogen bonds are there, so they will be close to each other. So here that's what density of ice is more than that of density of water. The reason is because of more number of water molecules will be there in liquid water. You can take water liquid. Density of water liquid is less because it occupies less volume, and density of water is sorry, what I'm saying here, three hydrogen bonds are there here, more volume to occupy. So density of ice is less. Density of ice is less than that of density of water. Is it clear to you? Density of liquid water is more than that of density of ice. Actually, we will expect solid should have more density. Solid should have more density, but here ice will have less density and it occupies more volume because of three hydrogen bonds will be there in a solid state, four hydrogen bonds will be there in liquid state between two water molecules, and in physics we will come across anomalous expansion of water. That is because of this hydrogen bond formation only. Okay, right. So now you understood what is hydrogen bond, how it will form. Next we will come across there are different types of hydrogen bonds. After come across in different types of hydrogen bonds, we will come across the applications of hydrogen bond also. Now come here. There are two types of hydrogen bonds. Hydrogen bonds are two types. What are the two types of hydrogen bond? The first one is intermolecular hydrogen bond. Intermolecular hydrogen bond. So we can ask the questions are, what is this intermolecular hydrogen bond? Hydrogen bond present between two molecules. Hydrogen bond is formed between two molecules of same kind or different kind. Same kind or different kind. Clear to you? Yeah, hydrogen bond present between two molecules of same kind or different kind. Let us take, this is one HF molecule, this is another HF molecule. Between these two there is a formation of hydrogen bond. You take, this is water molecule and this is another water molecule. Between two water molecules hydrogen bonds are existing, and you can take, this is ammonia molecule, this is another ammonia molecule. Between ammonia and ammonia molecule hydrogen bond can exist. Between HF molecule and between water molecule also hydrogen bond can exist. So you can take either same kind of molecules or different kind of molecules. Between two molecules, if hydrogen bond is forming, it is called intermolecular hydrogen bond. So hydrogen bond should exist between two molecules of same kind or different kind of molecules. Then the bond formed is called intermolecular hydrogen bonding. You can take very good example, that is acetone molecule. CH3 C double bond O CH3 is called acetone molecule. This is acetone molecule. And the other molecule you can take chloroform. What is this? Chloroform. Chloroform is CHCl3. Now here suppose between oxygen and hydrogen certain attractions are developing. You may get doubt, sir, just before you said that here this hydrogen is attached with carbon, so it cannot develop partial positive charge, you said, sir, previously. How can it will be hydrogen bonds, sir? Here the carbon is attached with three chlorine atoms. All these three chlorine atoms are more electronegative elements. That's what, because of attaching all the three more electronegative elements on carbon, this carbon becomes highly electron deficient. It will withdraw the electrons from hydrogen. It becomes more electron deficient because of three more electronegative elements are attached with carbon. All they are pulling the electron towards their chlorines. So carbon become deficient. That's what it attracts the electrons from bond, this adjacent bond. Now hydrogen becomes partially positive and this oxygen will have partial negative. So this bond is called intermolecular hydrogen bond. Between chloroform and, this is chloroform. Between chloroform and acetone there is a formation of intermolecular hydrogen bond. So due to this intermolecular hydrogen bond only, this acetone plus chloroform combination, this acetone plus chloroform combination shows negative deviation from ideal behavior. Negative deviation from ideal behavior. Acetone and chloroform is example for negative deviation from ideal behavior. That it is an ideal solution. Negative deviation from ideal behavior it shows. So it is a non-ideal solution with negative deviation, we can say. It is a non-ideal solution with negative deviation. Why it shows negative deviation? Because intermolecular attractions are increasing because of the formation of this intermolecular hydrogen bond. Between two molecules of same kind or different kind, if hydrogen bond is existing, it is called intermolecular hydrogen bond. Now come to the next slide. The second one is called intramolecular. What is the second one called? Intramolecular hydrogen bonding. You may ask that what is this intramolecular hydrogen bonds are? Intramolecular hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond formed within the molecule. Hydrogen bond formed within the molecule. Hydrogen bond formed within the molecule is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Now listen very carefully everyone. Here suppose you can see orthonitrophenol you can take. What is an example? Orthonitrophenol. In orthonitrophenol, here let us take here double bond O is there, here single bond O is there. Now between hydrogen of phenol and oxygen of nitro group, there is a existing of the hydrogen bond. This intramolecular hydrogen bond is also called chelation. What is it called? Chelation also we can say. So that hydrogen bond formed within the molecule is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding or chelation. You can take another example, orthohydroxybenzaldehyde. Orthohydroxybenzaldehyde. Orthohydroxybenzaldehyde is also called salsilaldehyde. What is that called? Salsilaldehyde. Between hydrogen of phenol and oxygen of aldehyde, there is a developing of the weaker electrostatic forces. This is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding. You can take orthohydroxybenzoic acid. Orthohydroxybenzoic acid is also called salicylic acid. In this salicylic acid also there is a formation of intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So the hydrogen bond formed within the molecule is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding. This intramolecular hydrogen bonding is also called chelation. Now you can take one molecule is forming intra, the other molecule is forming inter. Then here which compound will have more boiling point, they will ask you. Let us take here orthonitrophenol is there here. Orthonitrophenol forms intramolecular hydrogen bonding. And you can take paranitrophenol. Para position you can take NO2 and OH group are there at para positions. It won't form intramolecular because distance is more. We discussed already condition also. Okay, there is a certain distance 2.7 to 3.3 angstrom should be there, then only it can form hydrogen bonding. Now when two paranitrophenol molecules are adjacent to each other, then they can form intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Between this hydrogen and oxygen of nitro group, there is a intramolecular hydrogen bonding. There is existing of, here para will form intermolecular hydrogen bonding and ortho will form intramolecular. This is ortho, adjacent to each other is called ortho. 1,4 position is called para. So para will form intermolecular hydrogen bonding, ortho will form intra. So these compounds you can take boiling point will be more for para and less for ortho. So the compound which forms intermolecular hydrogen bonding will have more boiling point than intramolecular hydrogen bonding. This point is very very important. When same compound is given, so that para if it is forming intermolecular hydrogen bonding, ortho is forming intramolecular hydrogen bonding, boiling point of para will be more than that of ortho. Is it clear to you? So what are the applications of this hydrogen bonds you can ask. Most of the time it depends on boiling points will be explained by hydrogen bonding concept, and solubilities also we can explain based on hydrogen bonding, and stabilities of certain complexes, certain conformations of stabilities of certain conformations, stabilities of enol content also we can explain based on hydrogen bonding. Boiling points of the compounds, solubilities and stabilities of conformations, stabilities of enol forms we can explain based on this hydrogen bonding concept. First you can come across about boiling points. So best examples I will give you. These are very 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 important. Actually hydrates, among hydrates of different groups, down the group boiling point increases. In every group of hydrates you can take, down the group boiling points increases, because when you are coming down the group size increases, molecular weight increases, so van der Waals attractions increases, therefore boiling points increases. Let us take here lithium hydride is there, and sodium hydride is there, potassium hydride is there, rubidium hydride is there, cesium hydride is there. So whenever you are come across down the group, boiling point of the cesium hydride will be more. When you write the order of boiling point, so we can write that boiling point order. If you write cesium hydride will be having more boiling point than Here let me write boiling point order of that first group hydrates. You can write cesium hydride will have more boiling point than rubidium hydride, which will have more boiling point than potassium hydride, that will have more boiling point than sodium hydride, after that lithium hydride. Okay, now so down the group boiling points increases because of increasing size of the central atom and molecular weight. When size and molecular weight increases, van der Waals forces increases, so boiling point increases. In every group, down the group boiling points of hydrates increases, but there are exceptions. Suppose you can consider that a fifth A group elements hydrates you can take. Fifth A group elements hydrates. What are the fifth A group elements hydrates? Ammonia, NH3, phosphine, PH3, arsine, that is ASH3, stibin, SbH3, and bismuthine, BiH3. Okay, actually down the group boiling point should increase, but ammonia forms hydrogen bond here. So due to the formation of boiling hydrogen bond by ammonia, so the ammonia boiling point will be more than the expected. Now the correct order, if you write phosphine is least, we are expecting ammonia is least because down the group boiling point will increase, but here phosphine is having least boiling point, after that arsine. Okay, next ammonia is there. Ammonia is having more boiling point than arsine and phosphine. After this, so there is stibin and bismuthine. So this is the boiling point order of 15th group hydrates. It is very important one. Okay, now next you can take 16th group hydrates also. 16th group hydrates you can take. What are the 16th group hydrates? The 16th group hydrates are water, H2O, H2S, hydrogen sulfide, and H2Se, hydrogen selenide, hydrogen telluride, and hydrogen polonide. These are the hydrates of 16th group. Okay, now when you expect the boiling point order, down the group boiling point should increase, so that least should be water, highest should be hydrogen polonide. But here the actual trend is different. What is that actual trends are? Water is only having highest 100 degrees centigrade boiling point of water. After water, hydrogen polonide is there. Next, hydrogen telluride, means only water is exception, remaining as it is hydrogen selenide and hydrogen sulfide. That's what every time you will get questions. At room temperature, hydrogen sulfide is a gas which is having Rotanex smell, but water is liquid. Why? Down the group actually boiling point should increase. No, H2S more should have more than water, but water is only having highest because of a strong intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Just before we come across between two liquid water molecules, 4 hydrogen bonds will exist, and oxygen is more electronegative. That's what here water is having highest boiling point. After that, for remaining elements, down the group boiling point increases. This is also exceptional order we need to follow perfectly. This is also because of hydrogen bonding. Now come to the next slide. We'll discuss about 7th group elements. 7th A group elements hydrates you can take. Those are hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen bromide, and hydrogen iodide. Now what is the expected boiling point order? Here boiling point order expected is HF should be least, but here we are having that HF is only highest. After HF again same, HI will be more than HBr, HBr will be more than HCl. Is it clear to you? So because of HF, why it is more, sir? Why it is highest, sir? Because of intermolecular, strong intermolecular hydrogen bonding. See, when HF is there in solid state, listen here carefully everyone. When this HF is there in liquid state, it forms a hydrogen bond. Even in gas state also HF will form hydrogen bond. In liquid state HF will form hydrogen bond. Even gas vapor state also HF can form hydrogen bond. So that actually HF will exist as H2F2 because of strong hydrogen bonding. Because of strong hydrogen bonding, HF molecule will exist as H2F2. Is it clear to you? Even in vapor phase also that HF can form hydrogen bond because of more electronegativity of fluorine. Like that, boiling points we can explain based on hydrogen bonding. HF is highest in 7th group because of hydrogen bonding, and you can also go to that in 16th group water is highest because of hydrogen bond. In 15th group ammonia is more than arsine and phosphine, that is because of hydrogen bond. Is it clear to you? Right. Now come to the next slide. Here we discussed about boiling points of 17th group hydrates. Like these 3 group elements, which 3 group elements? 15, 16, 17. There is a abnormalities in boiling points of hydrates. Now come to the next slide. So they will give you almost in organic chemistry like this, carboxylic acids are there, and there are alcohols, and there are carbonyl compounds, that is aldehydes and ketones, or you can take ethers, okay, and hydrocarbons. They will give you alkanes, alkenes, alkynes of same molecular weight. They will give you by giving of same molecular weights of similar molecular weights having carboxylic acids, alcohols, carbonyl compounds, ethers and hydrocarbons. You can take always boiling point of carboxylic acids will be more than alcohols, more than carbonyl compounds, more than ethers, more than hydrocarbons. In hydrocarbons also again alkynes are more than alkenes, alkenes are more than alkanes. Alkanes will have least boiling points. Okay, now that order will follow. Why sir? Why carboxylic acids are having highest boiling points are? Because of the hydrogen bonding formation only. So dimerization takes place in carboxylic acids because of the strong hydrogen bonding. Or we can write RC double bond OH here. And another molecule of carboxylic acid can write RC double bond OH. So there is a strong intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Carboxylic acids will form strong intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Because of that, so the similar molecular weight of carboxylic acids, alcohols also will form, but here carboxylic acid will form strong intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So due to that, boiling points of carboxylic acids are very high. Next, you can come to the solubilities also. Alcohols are soluble in water, but whereas ethers are insoluble in water. The reason is alcohols can form hydrogen bonding. Now come to the next slide. Another important applications I will explain to you. Listen here carefully. So you know that a very well-known reaction, that is phenol is reacted with dilute HNO3. Phenol is reacted with dilute HNO3, and there is a formation of orthonitrophenol and para-nitrophenol. Generally, we will come across that because of repulsions, para compound will be major, more stable than ortho. But here, due to the formation of intramolecular hydrogen bonding, ortho major and para minor. This is because of intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Now you can take phenol. Phenol can be reacted with a chloroform in presence of alkali like NaOH. You can take the reaction name, you know that a Reamer-Tiemann reaction. It is a Reamer-Tiemann reaction. In this Reamer-Tiemann reaction also, right, there is a formation of salsilaldehyde, orthohydroxybenzaldehyde and para-hydroxybenzaldehyde. You will get in these two cases also. Here ortho is major product, and para is the minor product because of formation of intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Yeah, listen very carefully. Hydrogen of phenol, oxygen of aldehyde will form intramolecular hydrogen bonding in salsilaldehyde. Next, third reaction you can take when phenol reacts with a carbon dioxide, right? And first NaOH, you can take the reagents in order. Phenol reacts with NaOH followed by carbon dioxide, then with H+. You will get a orthohydroxybenzoic acid, that is called salicylic acid. Here you can also get para, but ortho is major because of same reason, that is intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So due to the formation of intramolecular hydrogen bonding, that ortho products will become major products than para. This is one of the application of hydrogen bond. Is it clear to you? Right, come to the next slide. And the very important question and frequently asking question is here conformations of alkanes. You can take conformations. If you take, let us take ethane 1,2-diol, or you can take butane 2,3-diol. What we can take here? Butane 2,3-diol you can take. The example is butane 2,3-diol. When you take butane 2,3-diol, so we can write the structure like this. It is CH3, second carbon is having one OH group, and third carbon also is having one OH group. This is called 2,3-butane-diol. Actually, when you draw the conformational isomerism of any compound, anti-form is more stable. Which form is more stable? Anti-form is more stable. Let us write here CH3, here there is a OH, and here there is hydrogen. Backside carbon also same. Here OH will be there, CH3 and hydrogen. This is called Gaussian form. What is this form called? Gaussian form. And here you can come. There is a hydrogen, OH group and CH3. So CH3 is opposite to CH3 and OH group is opposite to OH group and hydrogen is opposite to hydrogen. This conformation is called anti-conformation. Generally, the general thing is what in anti-repulsions will be more. Anti-form will be more stable than Gaussian. But here, in case of formation of intramolecular hydrogen bonding, in Gaussian intramolecular hydrogen bonding is possible. It is not possible in anti because two groups are opposite. So because of the formation of this intramolecular hydrogen bonding, Gaussian form is more stable. Gaussian form is more stable than anti-form. Gaussian form is more stable than anti-form. Let me explain one more application. That is, you can take a pentane 2,3 diol. What is that? Pentane 2,3 diol. It is a keto form. Pentane 2,3 diol is a keto form, and its enol form we can write. Here you can write OH group, and here you can write double bond O. Here there is a double bond, and here this is enol form. Generally, keto form will be more stable than enol form. Keto form will be more stable than enol, but in this case, enol form will be 99.9% and keto form will be 0.1%. Why, sir? You can ask why enol content is more stable, sir? Because of intramolecular hydrogen bonding. In this butane 2,3 diol enol form you can take, there is an intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Due to that, enol form is more stable than keto form. Enol form is more stable than keto form because of this intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Like that, stabilities we can explain, and we can also explain that boiling points, solubilities based on this hydrogen bonding. I hope you understood this what is hydrogen bond and what are the applications of hydrogen bond. Let me give some questions to you. You can solve these questions, and if you have any doubts in that questions and answers also, you can give in comment box. Okay now? Right. Now first question is, which are the following conformation is more stable? Which are the following conformation is more stable for 2-fluoroethanol? For 2-fluoroethanol molecule, which conformation is more stable? Is asking. Right? I'm giving you options like this. It is 2-fluoroethanol. Okay, on front carbon let us take OH group is there. Here two hydrogens. There is a fluorine. Here there is a hydrogen. This is one conformation, and the other conformation is there like this. Here there is OH group, and here there is a fluorine. Here hydrogen. Here hydrogen. Here hydrogen is there, and another conformation is there. Here there is a OH group, here hydrogen, and here hydrogen. Backside of hydrogen, hydrogen is there. Backside of hydrogen, fluorine is there. Here backside of OH with. And option D is given all the above. All are equally stable. All are equally stable. So whatever the concepts I explained, based on that, try to find the answer for this, and you can give your answer in comment section. I will give the clarity to you which is more stable and why. This is question number 1. Next you can take one more question. Which are the following as highest boiling point? Which are the following as highest boiling point? So options are given here. So there is a acetic acid, and option B is given, it is ethyl alcohol. Option C is given, it is acetaldehyde. Option D is given, it is a dimethyl ether. Out of these compounds, which has highest boiling point is asking. Okay, now come to the next question. Question number 3. Which are the following has, again same highest boiling point? So here options are given. Option A is orthohydroxybenzaldehyde, and option B is given para-hydroxybenzaldehyde. Para-hydroxybenzaldehyde, and option C is given here, it is meta-hydroxybenzaldehyde, and option D, yes, all are equal, all are having equal boiling points. All are having equal boiling points. If you know the answer, you can answer in the comment section with reason also. Clear? Right, now come to the one more question, that is, which are the following order of boiling point is correct? Which of the following order of boiling point is correct? So option A is given here. Yes, HF more than HI more than HBr, HBr more than HCl. Okay, Option B is given water is more than hydrogen polonide, hydrogen telluride, hydrogen selenide, and hydrogen sulfide. Option C is given here bismuthine BiH3 is more than phosphine pH3, that is more than, sorry, that is SB stibine more than ammonia more than arsine more than phosphine. This is the order given, and option D is all the above. Option D is all the above. Is it clear to you? And come to the next question, fifth question. Which are the following can form strong hydrogen bond? Which of the following can form strong hydrogen bond? Yeah, options are given. Here it is HF molecule is given, and NH3 molecule is given, H2S molecule is given, and they given H2O molecule. Where strongest hydrogen bond is there, you can find and give your answers. I hope by seeing this video you will get complete information about hydrogen bond and types of hydrogen bonds and applications of hydrogen bond. Like the video, subscribe my channel, click the bell icon for the latest updates, and you can share with your friends. Especially these videos are very useful for JEE mains, advanced, and NEET aspirants. Thank you everyone. We'll meet with in the next session with a periodic classification chapter. Thank you.